So you all are doing great and it's all working great whatever you're doing nowadays and you're listening to my lectures. Thank you so much for that you're paying many attention to that. So let's start today's lecture without wasting any of our time. So as you know, we are in love with maths and fraction. So let's see what's new we are having. So before starting the lecture, let's start the dua. So Bismillah Rahim, Rabbi Shrah li Sadri wa Yassir li Amri Wahlul Uqdatam min Lisani Yafqahu Qawli Rabbi Zidni Ilma. I मेरे रब मेरे इल्म में इजाफा फरमा. So today we're going to do the problem solving of multiplication of fraction and comparison of like fractions. So let's see the words that describe multiplication of numbers or fractions. So what are the words that describe multiplication or of numbers or fractions? Like such and times. If you're seeing these both words, so that means they are discussing about multiplication. So whatever we are having such and times, that means they're discussing about multiplication of total of it. Okay, these both also represent multiplication. Product represent multiplication, twice thrice represent multiplication, groups of represent multiplication. So one is not mentioned over here. Of, simple of is also representing the multiplication. So let's look at this one. So if the given information is about one thing, okay, and the required information is asked about more than one thing, take a large amount of things, that means we have to do multiplication. So such times of total of it, product, twice thrice, groups of, if the given information is about one thing and the required information is asked about more things, so in these all cases we have to do multiplication. So let's look at the word problems of multiplications of fractions. So it's example one, that if 5 whole 1 over 2 meters of cloth is used to stitch one dress, how much cloth will be used to stitch 7 such dresses? So here the word such tell us that we have to do multiplication. So solution is that first of all I have to write the statements like length of cloth used to stitch one dress equals to 5 whole 1 over 2 meters. Length of cloth used to stitch 7 such dresses, that equals to 5 whole 1 over 2 meters multiplied by 7. Okay, then you have to change the mixed number into improper fraction. 11 like 5 multiplied by 2 equals to 10 plus 1 equals to 11 over 2 equals multiplied by 7. So put under 1. So 11 over 2 multiplied by 7 over 1 is a fraction. So multiply the numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator, you're going to get 77 over 2. It's an improper fraction, write the QRD form. So it's 38 whole 1 over 2 meters. So the total length that was used to stitch 7 such dresses is 38 holes 1 over 2 meters. So then we are having Hina ate 1 over 2 of a cake. So here the word of tell us that we have to do multiplication. If there were 8 pieces of a cake, then how many pieces did Hina eat? So for that you have to do solutions. Total pieces of the cake were 8. Hina ate the pieces of cake equals to 1 over 2 of a cake. So 1 over 2 of total pieces. Okay? So then what you have to do is we are having 1 over 2 multiplied by 8. Take off is going to change into multiplication sign. Then 1 over 2 multiplied by 8 over 1. So here 2 and 8 they both are divided by 2. So I'm going to get the fraction 1 over 1 multiplied by 4 over 1. Then multiply the numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. You're going to get 4 over 1. That means 4 whole. So Hina ate total pieces were Hina ate were 4 pieces of a cake. Then we are having an example like Nida had 3 over 12 of a pizza. She gave 1 over 8 of it to her friend Madiha. Here we're going to get of it. Of it indicates we have to do multiplication. So you have to find out what of the total pizza did Madiha get. Like what pizza was given to Madiha. So the solution for this is for Nida 8 pieces of a pizza, that for 3 over 12. So Madiha got the part of a pizza. So 1 over 8 of 3 over 2. So you have to change off into multiplication sign. 1 over 8 multiplied by 3 over 12. So here 3 and 12 are divided by 3. So I'm going to get the fraction 1 over 8 multiplied by 1 over 4 and multiply the numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. I'm going to get 1 over 32. So the Madiha got 1 over 32 pieces of a pizza. So total pizza pieces is Madiha got were 1 over 32. Then to decorate the classroom, Hassan used ribbons of two colors. The length of blue ribbon is 5 fold 7 over 8 meters. The length of red ribbon is 2 over 3 of the length of blue ribbon. Of the take a of the again tells us that you have to do multiplication. What's the length of red ribbon? So the solution would be length of blue ribbon equals to 5 fold 7 over 8 meters. Length of red ribbon equals to 2 over 3 of the length of blue ribbon. Of is going to change into multiplication sign, and 5 fold 7 over 8 is going to change into improper fraction. 5 multiplied by 8 equals to 40. 40 plus 7 equals to 47 over 8. Then we are having 2 over 3. So 2 here what you're going to do is 2 over 3 and 47 over 8. So here 2 and 8 they both are divided by 2. You're going to get 1 over 3 multiplied by 47 over 4. So 1, so you have to multiply the numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. You're going to get 47 over 12. So then it's an improper fraction. Change the improper fraction into QRD form. That's going to be 3 whole 11 over 12 meters. So the answer total is, so the length of red ribbon is 3 holes 11 over 12 meters. ठीक है, this is the answer. So the question number 5 is that if 7 whole 1 over 7 meters of cloth is used to stitch a one dress, then how much cloth will be used to stitch 21 such dresses? Here the word such tells us that you have to do multiplication. So the solution is the length of cloth used to stitch one dress equal to 7 whole 1 over 7 meters. Then length of cloth used to stitch 21 such dresses equals to 7 whole 1 over 7 meters multiplied by 21. So here then you have to change 7 whole 1 over 7 you have to change into you have to change into improper fraction. So 7 multiplied by 7 equals to 49 plus 1 equals to 50. So 50 over 7 then multiply by 21 over 1. So you're going to do like here 7 and 21 are divided by 7. So divide them. You're going to get 50 over 1 multiplied by 3 over 1. So multiply the numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. You're going to get 1 over 50. 150 over 1 equals to 50 meters. The total length of clothes used to stitch 21 such dresses is 150 meters. Okay, then we have question 6 that Fazana has ribbons of two different colors. Okay, the length of orange ribbon is 4 whole 4 over 5 meters. The length of yellow ribbon is 10 over 12 of the length of the orange ribbon. So of the tell us we have to do multiplication. What is the length of yellow ribbon? So solution we're going to do is the length of orange ribbon. Orange ribbon length is 4 whole 4 over 5 meters. Length of yellow ribbon equals to 10 over 12 of the length of orange ribbon. Of is going to change to multiplication sign, and 4 over 4 over 5 is going to change to improper fraction. 4 multiplied by 5 equals to 20 plus 4 equals to 24 over 5. Then here get to know the fractions are 10 over 12 multiplied by 24 over 5. So here 10 and 5 are divided by 5. So let's divide them. I'm going to get 2 over 12 and 2 over 12 and 24 over 1. Then here 12 and 24 they are divided by 12. So let's divide them. I'm going to get 2 over 1 multiplied by 2 over 1. Then multiply numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. I'm going to get 4 over 1. That means 4 meters. So total length of the yellow ribbon is 4 meters. So then how many days they are there in a 2 or 14 of a week? So for that we have to do the solution. So here the keyword that tells us we have to do multiplication is off. Okay, solution how many number of days in a week, that are 7. Number of days in 2 over 14 of a week equals to 2 over 14 of 7. So then we have to change off into multiplication sign. 2 over 14 multiplied by 7, then 7 under 7 we have to put 1. 2 over 14 multiplied by 7 over 1, then 14 and 7 are divided by 7. You're going to get 2 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 1, then 2 and 2 they are divided by 2. So then you're going to get 1 over 1 multiplied by 1 over 1. You have to multiply the numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. So you're going to get 1 over 1 that equals to 1. So there is 1 day in 2 over 14 of a week. Okay, so like fractions. What are like fractions? What did I tell you? That's very clear concept that the like fractions are those fractions whose denominators are same. The equal denominators means these are like fractions. So in our figure that's having a triangle that's having two equal parts, and one of that shaded red means 1 over 2 of triangle that's having two equal parts, for them a shaded means 2 over 2. So here you can, if you look at the denominators, so they have the same denominator, that means they are like fractions. So let's discuss a real life situation. Like your best friend has a chocolate bar in his or her lunch, and as you share everything, so he or she they ask you that if you want 1/3 or 2/3 of it, and this is the case that you want the most chocolate. So three things you have to do. First of all, you have to follow along to learn how to find this out. Before we get started, let's review what is a fraction. Like, let's me tell you what's a fraction. So a fraction is a part of a whole. When whole is divided into equal parts, a whole that's divided into equal parts, that's called a fraction. So here we are having a chocolate bar, okay, and divided into three equal parts, and you want one third or two thirds. So here I'm having equal part that's having three equal parts. You want one third or two third. As you want the most chocolate, so you're going to select two thirds, because here I can see the two thirds is having the most chocolate. So 2/3 we want to get, whereas we do not want to get 1/3. So comparison of like fractions. What three important things we should know to compare the like fractions? So we have to observe the denominators of the given fractions, like if they are same, so that means that like fractions, of course. Then you have to check the numerator of the like fractions for their comparisons. Then we have to check the like, if the numerator would be greater, the value would be greater. If the denominator would be greater, the value would be smaller. Okay, so for the comparison, you should know these symbols. This means greater than, this means less than, and this means equal to. The value is equal. So here we're having an example that you have to compare the like fraction. So I have a finger that's in the hole. There are four equal parts, and three of them are shaded. That means 3/4 of 3/4. Then a figure that's having four equal parts and one shading, like that means 1/4, 1/4. So in like fractions, the greater the numerator, the greater the value of the fractions. So here the greater the numerator, so the denominator is same, so we have to look for the numerators. The once the greater the numerator would be, that the value would be greater. Like here 3 is greater than 1 now, so that means 3/4 is greater fraction than 1/4. Like if you have to compare the like fraction, 9/10 and 5/10, so you can also do that like this: 9/10 and then 5/10. So you get to know, like here these are numerators and these are denominators. So here 9 is greater than 5, so that means this fraction is greater. Okay, 9/10 is greater than 5/10. Then we're having a figure that's having a triangle that's having 4 equal parts. 3 of them are shaded, that means 3/4, and figure that's having 4 equal parts and 2 of them are shaded, that means 2/4. So as you know, 3/4 is greater than 2/4. You can get to know very easily, because if you look at the figure, if you look at the shadings, you can get to know. Then you're having 19/66 and 31/66. So as you know, 31 is greater than 19, that means 31/66 greater value. So here I'm having another, what problem that you can do, like how many months will be there in 3/4 of a year. So for that you have to do solution. So the number of months in a year equals to 12. The number of, like here the word of tell you have to do multiplication. Number of months in 3/4 of a year equals to 3/4 of 12. So 3/4 of is going to turn to multiplication side. After in the 12 you have to put 1. That means the fraction is 3/4 multiplied by 12/1. 3/4, here 12 and 4 they are divided by 4. That means 3/1 multiplied by 3/1. Multiply the numerator denominator you're going to get 9/1, and that means 9. So there are 9 months in 3/4 of a year. So this was our today's lecture. I hope so you liked today's lecture. So like I make you interesting. I'm like seriously I'm going with the fractions these days. So if any other topic you want to discuss about it, to maths, English, science, Urdu, so you can discuss with me in the comment box. Thank you. See you in the next lecture. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.